Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked, blissed? Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. And we are delighted you're here. We broadcast 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday. Live 9 a.m. through 11 a.m. Central Time. If you'd like to call us, we'll pay for your call, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. And you may want to write that number down for today because of the topic. I think it might be quite interesting, and you might have some stories of your own that you'd like to share. I'll tell you what that is in a minute, 866-582-9933. And if you'd like to listen, you can listen on your phone. 605-477-3249. 605-477-3249. There's a link to your instructors on the website, but there are fewer of them since I have been deleting instructors who have strayed from the fold. Fewer instructors.
Guys, the president of Turkey has arrived.
Dr. Shealy, we have yet begun. Let me tell you, and I'll share that with you in just a second. John is engineering our broadcast in Minnesota at Genesis Communications Network. And Dr. Norman Shealy's with us, normshealy.com. Welcome, Dr. Shealy.
Hey, always great to be with you, Vince. By the way, Lou called a couple of nights ago and said you had a surprise for me.
Oh, boy. Well, here's what it is. Let me just, I'll have to explain it, but just give me a second here and I'll get you through it. Okay, so first I'd like to share with our class that I've taken a stand about radio. And, I was spending family resources, hard-earned resources. Nobody here won the lottery. So we've worked hard all our lives, avoided vacations and so forth. And I've been spending our family money, with approval of the family on AM, FM, satellite, that kind of thing. And I decided, that's it. I'm not doing it anymore. So I sent out a notice to radio stations and, and our affiliates. And I said, no longer. We're not doing it anymore. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. If you've got any other ideas, I'm all ears. And I'm getting responses like, "Oh, you don't have to pay." And we're going to keep you right where you are, and I'm delighted. I'm absolutely delighted that our affiliates are going to keep us right where we are. And some of our affiliates have us in their very best time slots of the day. For example, drive time afternoon. I mean, there's not much better than drive time in the afternoon. And so we are there on many radio stations. So I've put everybody on notice that, they're certainly welcome to carry us, but we're not paying for it. And as a result of me deleting some of the instructors who kind of strayed from the fold, I got a call from another radio station saying, since I've deleted that instructor, would it be okay if they carried our broadcast? And I said, and so, Dr. Shealy, you and I are now, right today, we are on KYAH AM 540 Delta, Utah, as a result of my deleting instructors. And even this morning before the broadcast, were there any that I missed? Oh, yeah. So they're gone too. Now, so the more, here's what I've learned. And the broadcast today, if it's okay with you, I'd like it to center on human nature, and I'll define what that is in just a minute. But the bottom line, Dr. Shealy, as a result of traveling the country and doing 5 years worth of meetups, plus the rest of my life, I've learned a little bit about human nature. And I've combined that with 2 television series that I thought were excellent. One, of course, is Columbo, and that's the character that most people may recognize that I appear to be in many circumstances, either in person as well as, on the radio. I'm always confused. And the other one is a series you can watch on Netflix. And while I was recovering from my intestinal problems and resulting surgery, I started watching this series called Lie to Me. Lie to Me. And it's about this guy. His character's name is Cal Lightman. And he can tell when people are lying. And when he detects someone's lying, he doesn't just say to himself, that guy just lied to me. He jumps the guy and says, you lied to me. And when someone lies to me now, that's, when they deliberately lie to me, I'm not talking about making a mistake, but when they deliberately lie to me and try to cheat me and try to take advantage of me through deception, and when I detect that, there is no second chance, Dr. Shealy. No longer is there a second chance in my world. So I cut that person off. And I mentioned to my son that I am now a combination of the character of Columbo, Lieutenant Columbo, and Cal Lightman. And I mentioned that to my son, and he said, No, Dad, you're just getting back to the way you used to be.
Where have you been?
Yeah. So for today, Dr. Shealy, if it's okay with you, now I'd like to share with the audience that you and I the time that we get together and talk about what we're going to talk about on the broadcast is live. There is no call before the broadcast saying, hey, what would you like to talk about? There's no show notes other than what I may write down or what you may have as show notes. But we don't compare notes. We don't compare thoughts. And we just meet right here live on the air. And whatever's going to happen live with no rehearsal, no back communications, no secret communications, nothing. It's live, above board, on the air. Everybody can hear it right then and there.
We wing it.
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly right. So today, if it's okay with you, I'd like to talk about human nature. I believe it's disintegrating and devolving. Not evolving, devolving.
Oh, I agree totally, Vince, of course.
Okay. And during my lifetime, I've seen this, and I have about 15 or 20 stories that I'd like to share about me and people close to me with you and the relationship to this human nature devolving. And then toward the end of this 2-hour broadcast, I'd like to share a story that I believe you don't know anything about that involves you and it involves me. And it's what people who we know and people who we thought were our friends, it's what they've done to us. And it's despicable. And I'd like to share that with you. And it's something that the reason I want to do this is because there are so many people out there that think they're in the trenches with people who they can trust. And I'm here to tell you that I know for absolute certain that with certainty, there are people that we thought were our friends who really are not. They're fair weather friends. If you're willing to give them free dinners and if you're willing to give them free tickets and you're willing to have them over to your house for the free food and whatever it is, well, they're willing to go out of their way to show up. But if you need them, or if you think that you can call on them, or if you think you can depend on them to stand up for you, it's unlikely. And that's what these stories are about. Is that okay with you if we proceed down this road, Dr. Shealy?
Oh, of course. I like to talk about almost everything. So, and obviously You're talking about one of the most important. Okay.
So we have not rehearsed this, so here we go. As As many know, I'm almost 64 years old. I was born in the early 50s. And I know for a fact, because I've seen it, that if a person had a flat tire in the 1950s, that person would pull over to the side of the road, raise the trunk, get the spare tire out, jack up the car, and then proceed to change the tire. But during that process, during the early stages of that process, almost with certainty, someone would pull up behind, get out of his car and say, "You need a hand? Is there, you need a lift to the service station?" Because not everybody's spare tire was full of air. Because those were the days of the tire tubes and rubber products weren't quite as good as they are right now. So the person pulling up behind would typically say, "Do you need a hand?" And if you say, "Well, geez, maybe if you could give me a lift down to the service station, that'd be wonderful." So if the spare tire wasn't inflated properly, or there was no spare tire or wheel, you take that tire off your car and you put it in the other guy's trunk, and he'd drive it to the service station and wait while the service station attendant would repair that tire tube, inflate the tire, and then the person would take you back to your car, make sure that were going to be okay, and get it on the car. And if you wanted to pay them, they would never accept payment for their services. That's kind of the way it was in the 1950s. Dr. Shealy, does that jive with your memory?
Well, it jives with my memory in the 40s.
Right. Yeah. I can't remember the 40s because I wasn't here, but the 50s and maybe even to the 60s, I remember that. And
yeah, you're right. The 60s is when the world started to go to pot.
Mm-hmm. And if you extrapolate, yes, more than one way. And if you extrapolate that a little further, the batteries that we have in our automobiles and light trucks today are, they last a lot longer than they did back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, even the 60s. And if you got 18 months life expectancy out of an automobile battery, that was pretty good. And because of that, there are plenty of cars that wouldn't start. They may start on the way out there, but on the way back, you couldn't get them started. We'll talk about that and what happened with people and human nature. Dr. Shealy, normshealy.com. Norm Shealy is a medical doctor, author of way over 30 books. We'll be right back. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
In the 1950s, Dr. Joanna Budwig had a 90% success rate curing people of cancer using fresh-pressed flax oil and cottage cheese. The combination of dairy protein with unoxidized flax oil was able to restore oxygen transfer. It is now well known the cells of our bodies require unoxidized omega-3 and 6 seed oils to both attract and absorb oxygen. For the first time, there are seed oils with virtually zero oxidation even after 1 year at room temperature. All other, quote, cold-pressed seed oils are structurally damaged and significantly oxidized by the time you consume them. Andrea's seed oils retain the correct shape, electron content, and information that is quickly communicated to all the cells in your body. By taking these sacred seed oils, your whole body will begin to use oxygen as the Creator designed it. Now combine this with our Life Force Enhanced One World Whey protein, and you have a winning combination to confer energy and health like never before. Call 888-988-3325 or visit sacredseedoils.com. That's sacredseedoils.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Class Dr. Norman Shealy is with us, medical doctor, and we're talking about the devolving of human nature, the disintegration of the good traits. And we're talking about car batteries and light truck batteries back in the 1950s and 1960s and even earlier, and they didn't last very long, maybe 18 months if you're fortunate. Well, because of that, you could get in your vehicle and go to start it, and it may not start. And it could be on the way home from work. It could be anywhere, even on the way to work. Well, what would happen is you'd raise the hood, and you'd look under the hood, and car pulling behind you, and someone would get out and say, "You guys, are you okay? You have a problem? Can I help?" And the response might be, "Well, I've got a dead battery." It's like everybody's had dead batteries. It was really common. So the person behind would say, "Well, can I give you a push?" And a push meant bumper to bumper. You know, their bumper would line up with your bumper, and they'd give you a kind of a push, and you get a running start, and put it maybe in, put your vehicle in second gear, pop the clutch, and it would start. Remember those days, Dr. Shealy?
Oh, yeah. They remind me of a number of funny things.
Yeah. Well, that's what would happen. And if it wasn't like that, it might be one guy, the owner of the vehicle would be behind the wheel, and another guy would be pushing from the back, and another guy would say, "Wow, those guys need some help." And pretty soon you'd have three guys pushing your vehicle to try to get it up to maybe 5 miles an hour so you could pop the clutch. So no matter what, or there'd be a tow rope, somebody would have a tow rope, and they'd pull your car either out of the way or where you can fix it if it was a big problem, or they'd pull it so you could jump start it, or somehow there'd be a bunch of people that would help you solve this problem. And nobody would say, "Tell you what, it looks like you're really stranded. $10 will get you out of this jam. Give me $10 and, I'll help you." That never happened. But that's not the way it is today. Now, do you remember it like that, Dr. Shealy, as I described it?
Absolutely. It began to dissolve in the 60s.
Mm-hmm. Right. So let's contrast that with the 1990s. So Mrs. Finelli's family, her parents, were visiting us at the farm, and they were from out of state. and they had a station wagon, and the license plate was, in the center of the tailgate, so it was kind of high. It was above the bumper. And they had a flat tire near us in Virginia on this 2-lane highway, so 1 lane going, 1 lane coming. And they were both white-haired, and they were looking at the flat tire, getting ready to fix it. And a UPS truck, United Parcel Service truck, pulled up behind them and changed the tire for them. And, of course, Mrs. Finelli and I were worried about, her parents, like, where are they? They're late. What happened? We were just about ready to go looking for them. We knew where they were headed. So we were on our, getting ready to leave, and they showed up. And we said, you guys okay? And they said, yeah, we had a flat tire. And this really nice guy from UPS changed the tire for us. And I said, I knew because we had a computer business, we'd get a delivery at least every day. And I knew most of the drivers. And I said, can you describe that driver? And they described the driver. And I said, I know who he is. So I'll call him tonight, and I just want to say thank you. So when I thought he'd be home after the day's work, I called him up, and I said, I just want to thank you. I believe it was you who helped my mother-in-law and father-in-law with their flat tire. He said, oh, yeah, glad to do it. I said, I'd like to call your boss and let him know how kind that was. He goes, no, don't call my boss. Don't call my boss. If you do, they'll fire me. Dr. Shealy, so what has happened is, the police, remember when the police, if you locked your keys in your car in your 1950s, and that's happened to, my mom had done that, locked the keys in the car. And the police would unlock the car. You could go over and say, you could be standing outside looking in your side window, and the patrol car would come by and they'd say, ma'am, do you need any help? Yeah, I locked my keys in the car. Okay, well, we can do that. We can fix that. And they used to help you unlock your car to get your keys. And, of course, they didn't want any money. And they believed it was your car. They didn't say, license and registration, hands up. They'd help you. Let's talk more about that when we get back.
Are you retired or facing retirement and you're afraid your income is going to be less than you'd like? I'm Pharmacist Keith. Dr. Wallach, the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy, and I want to show you a low-cost way to create your own business working around your current schedule, creating extra income that will last for years to come by joining Dr. Wallach's crusade, spreading his message of better health. To learn more, visit radio.recordedvideo.com. That's radio.recordedvideo.com, radio.recordedvideo.com, or call 866-257-3105 for a recorded message.
The best kept secret in the firearms business is CDNNsports.com. CDNN Sports is the largest firearms liquidator in the U.S. We've got optics, accessories, gun parts, magazines, ammunition, and more. Sign up for our email specials today for the best gun deals, period. You will also be entered to win a Winchester 101 field shotgun. Go to Charlie, Delta, Novembersports.com. That's CDNNsports.com.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
To a professional trader in precious metals, the key is spot price. Spot price is market price, what gold or silver actually costs on the exchange. Regular people looking to invest never get spot price because resellers add fees for everything. Refining, minting, brokerage costs, commissions. The public is never offered spot price until now. In a limited new customer outreach, JM Bullion offers you the chance to own a 10-ounce bar of pure silver at spot price. No fees, commissions, markups, not even a shipping cost. Now, through JM Bullion, own the most real investment of all at real cost. Not a piece of paper from Wall Street or a bank. A 10-ounce bar of silver at spot price. That's a solid investment. But you must act now. Go online to realpricesilver.com for this limited time offer. That's realpricesilver.com. realpricesilver.com. Limit one offer per household, 50 United States only. Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common-sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
Dr. Norman Shealy's with us, medical doctor, and we're talking about the human nature devolving to what we've got today. We're comparing it to when I was growing up from the 1950s on. And as I mentioned during the previous segment, Dr. Shealy, the police would help you if you had locked your keys in the car, or even if you had a flat tire. They'd pull over and they would help the lady change her tire, and even if the guy didn't know how to do it, they'd help. That's the way it was. They were there to protect and serve. And that has gone away. And today, the police won't help you open your car, at least as far as I can tell. And if you have a flat tire, they might use their radio and have a service truck come to your assistance. And then they leave. What's up? Got a flat tire. Okay. I'll see if I can get you some help. Unless you get your help on your own if you have a cell phone. Do you see that, Dr. Shealy, or I'm off base, do you think?
Maybe in an old television show.
Yeah. Do you have any more comments on that, Dr. Shealy? I don't want this to be 90% me.
I think the problem began to some extent in the whole of the 60s. And that's when the government markedly increased its interference with everything in the world. Medicare came in 1965. Medical expenses were 4% in 1965. By 1970, they were 12%, and we weren't as healthy as we were 5 years earlier. And when the government did that, it began to expand into everything. And the so-called welfare markedly increased. So to me, partly it started at the top, so to speak, and it spread down through the country and the world.
Total agreement from me, Dr. Shealy. In the 1960s, when I was in elementary school, 1950s and 1960s, I remember after school, you'd play at a friend's house. So boys would hang out with boys and girls would hang out with girls, and sometimes they'd play together. If there was a little baseball game, a pickup game of baseball at somebody's house, and you'd play there until dark, and your parents expected you to get out there and get sunshine, vitamin D. And they'd say that, go get some vitamin D, get some sunshine. And they would expect you to exercise and not watch television, or not just be a couch potato, or not just vegetate. They really expected you to grow and mature and play. And I remember that if you were walking to a friend's house in the 1960s, early 1960s, and you were walking to that friend's house, and one of the neighbors saw you, as they were traveling down the road, they might say, "Hey, Vinny, do you need a ride? Are you going somewhere? Do you need a ride home?" And they would just stop and make sure you were okay. And these could be family friends from a quarter mile down the road. I'm talking about if you lived in a development, it could be many, many, many houses down the road. And back then you knew the people next to you, on the left, on the right, behind you, all three properties behind you. You knew like 15 to 20 of your neighbors, and you would see them, and they could recognize you at a distance. You knew their names, they knew your name, and it was kind of nice. But that was then. Now I'm thinking, we hardly know the neighbors, diagonally across from us, right, Dr. Shealy?
You got it.
Okay. Any comments on that story?
Well, I think it's two things, actually, even though I blame the government to a large extent. Let's face it, it was also in the 60s when television began to take over the minds of people. Television didn't come in until the early 50s, most places. And by the 60s, television began to be the great dumbing down tool of the establishment. And I think that overall, conservatively, 90% of everything on television is beyond belief bad, bad, bad. It just is dangerous to your life.
Well, if you look at these actors and actresses, they are branded, tattooed, disfigured, whatever size breast an actress might have, it's not enough.
Exactly.
It needs augmentation. Whatever their lips look like, it's not enough. It needs to be augmented. Whatever the nose looks like, it needs to be fixed, at least in somebody's opinion.
Exactly.
So we are disfiguring ourselves, and then we read about this on the internet, and we read about in these magazines that are sold as impulse items at the checkout of supermarkets, and we think this is normal. Boy, if I could just have a triple oversized butt like that person, I'd be in great shape, right? And
right.
We're starting to believe this nonsense. And then if you really want to know how bad it is, you look at before and after. You look at an actress before all this stuff happened to her. Before she did it to herself and paid for it. Then you look at her 30 years later and you go, wow, how much that person has aged and how much damage that augmentation has done.
Well, let's face it. Again, 90% of fake plastic surgery is dangerous to your life. And I would guess more than well above half of all plastic surgery is ego fake nonsense. The idea of operating on your body for ego effects is, just part of craziness.
I just can't imagine it. Saying to, your plastic surgeon, you see this little bump on my nose here? That's really ugly.
Don't touch me.
Yeah, right. Okay, so let's move on to the next little story, and we'll call this the Elementary School Science Fair. And I remember competing in the science fairs of grades 6, 7, and 8. And it was a big deal, Dr. Shealy, back in the 1960s. So the idea was that you would use the knowledge that you've learned in science classes and all your classes to the best of your ability, combine the knowledge that you've learned up till that point in school and outside of school, nurture and nature, and then apply creativity to develop a science fair project that would be competitive and actually beat all the others in this contest. And the interesting thing was, it was supposed to be the work of the students. Now, the parents could make suggestions, but it had to be the students' work. And it was really neat. The parents would be proud of their children, and the teachers would be proud of the achievements. But today, it seems more like there's way more help in these science fair projects than what the students are capable of doing themselves. And I think that's wrong. I think it's wrong to have your parents build your science fair project so that you can get this undeserved medal.
Well, it destroys creativity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you don't create it, you lost
right.
it.
Mm-hmm. Any other thoughts?
Hello?
All right, do you have any other thoughts on how we have devolved from...
Well, again, I think that it's part of the lack of personal responsibility. The bottom line of everything you're talking about is a lack of personal responsibility. And that's the number one issue in health and longevity and increased income for life. In other words, the basic is conscientiousness. And as a country, we ain't got none.
Yeah. Right. And what we're trying to do, Dr. Shealy, here is ring the alarm and let people know that we need it. We absolutely need to pay attention to what we're doing, be deliberate about it, plan it, and we are responsible for the outcome. We are responsible for our lives. There's no one more interested in our lives than we are.
Yeah, exactly. Parents, of course, want to encourage and help their children develop and become successful. But unless they're challenged and able to take care of themselves and learn when it's important to be personally responsible, well, they're going to be lost souls.
There was a series on this television show, Lie to Me, and it brings up part of what we're discussing. And this one high school girl was taking the test to apply to college, and she wasn't doing all that well. So without her knowledge, without the student's knowledge, the mother hired a teacher who was, a young-looking teacher, to sit in and fraudulently take the exam for the student without the student's knowledge.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Now that, to me, should be caning in public square.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, imagine that student becoming a surgeon, right?
Right.
Imagine that, or in charge of maybe the button to launch the rocket, or in charge of some decision-making capacity to be involved in launching a war. I mean, there are so many cheaters going on. Yeah. Well, when we come back, let's talk a little bit more about this and bring it up all the way up to the Cub Scouts where they have the Pinewood Derby. Let's talk about the cheating that's involved there. I've got a lot more stories. Norm, Shealy, and I will be right back.
Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Injury Help Desk is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention prescription antibiotic drug users. Have you or a loved one suffered an aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm after taking the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avelox? These popular antibiotic drugs have been prescribed more than 80 million times since 2004, and medical studies show an increased risk of the following injuries: aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, and abdominal aortic aneurysm. If you or a loved one used the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avelox and suffered from aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-823-3851, 800-823-3851, 800-823-3851.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, you might not sleep so well. But now, SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. It kills 99.9% of all CPAP germs, and it's completely hands-free. For a limited time, you can try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Just call 1-800-952-2797.
SoClean changed the CPAP experience for the better. My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean destroys CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs, and it eliminates the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. There's no water, chemicals, or disassembly. Just pop in your mask, close the lid, and presto! Your CPAP system is clean and fresh in minutes. Call SoClean.com to try it risk-free at home for 30 days. This is a limited-time offer, only available by calling 1-800-952-2797. That's 1-800-952-2797.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares Unfiltered and Untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares Untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Class, I'm delighted to be broadcasting with Dr. Norman Shealy. We've been broadcasting almost 5 years together, and we're taking this opportunity to talk about how human nature is spiraling down. And we're telling stories about real-life occurrences, things that have happened to me that I think are prime examples of this spiraling down, and we can fix it if we recognize it. So here's another one of those stories, Dr. Shealy. And back in the 1990s, one of our boys was in Cub Scouts, and they have this thing called the Pinewood Derby. And the idea is that the scout buys this kit, and in this box, you get a block of wood made of pine, clear pine, no knots in it. You get 4 plastic wheels and 4 nails. And the finished car must use all of those pieces. And when you're done with it, the finished car must not exceed 5 ounces. And there are certain widths and lengths, but the idea is you're supposed to take these 4 nails, which become the axles, the 4 wheels, which are plastic wheels, and this block of wood, and you're supposed to make a pine wood car that races downhill against others that are made by other Cub Scouts with the assistance of maybe an adult. And the idea is the fastest car wins. It's as simple as that. Now, beauty's really nice. If you have a nice looking one, that's, an added plus, but the idea is the fastest car wins. Well, I was working with our son, and I explained before we started. I said, "Here are some things that affect the performance of this vehicle. One is aerodynamics," and I explained to him what aerodynamics was. So I said, if we were to make a car that looked like a billboard, it would go very slowly. If the car were to be made to be sleek and aerodynamic, like the shape of a pencil, it would probably run a little faster. And then there's friction on the wheels. So there's all kinds of lubricants. There's graphite lubricants. There's conventional oil. And so I talked to him about it, and I said, so it's all your choice. So we experimented with this pine wood car, and we took an 8-foot laminated like a Formica table, and we tested it together to see how different changes affected the performance. So it was a real learning experience, but shaping the car, and then we experimented with more weight and less weight up to 5 ounces, putting the weight in the front, the middle, the back, and all kinds of things. And it was the son doing the work and the father or the adult supervising and just making sure that, the glue went to the right places and that kind of thing. So our son and I went to the competition, and he had a very plain looking car. It was painted green. It was semi-aerodynamic. It didn't look like that block of wood that came in the box. It was whittled down, and our son did the sawing and the sanding and all the things that were necessary to be done, supervised, of course. And he painted it. And what we saw at the competition was works of art. We saw spiral-shaped cars. We saw cars that you needed to have a lathe and a milling machine and all kinds of things that no one that age would would be allowed to touch. What I'm saying is there's plenty of cheating going on. And did the official say, "Son, did you build this car yourself?" No, didn't happen. So even at that level, scouts learn about cheating and how you have to lie your way to the top. Dr. Shealy, any quick comments?
What happened with the biggest liar in our political history.
Right. When we come back, it's going to get worse, Dr. Shealy, when I tell some more of these stories. Class, hang on. You're not going to...
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
The investment world isn't fair. A precious metals trader buys gold and silver at spot price. You pay his price plus fees, costs, and shipping. But today, you don't. Today, JM Bullion offers a 10-ounce bar of pure silver at spot price. No fees, no markups, no shipping. Invest in something real, not Wall Street paper. 10 ounces of silver at spot price. Visit realpricesilver.com for this limited time offer. One per household, 50 United States only. realpricesilver.com. Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked? Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. Dr. Norman Shealy is with us. NormShealy.com. And if you'd like to sign up for the same newsletter that I get multiple times weekly, NormShealy.com. NormShealy.com. And I'd also like to thank KYAH AM 540 in Delta, Utah, for broadcasting this series of classes, the broadcast classroom of USAPrepares.com. Thank you so much for your confidence and trust. Dr. Shealy and I have been talking about human nature and how it has devolved and disintegrated over the years. And during the previous hour, I talked about the Pinewood Derby. And I talked about how fathers or adults cheat so that they can help their son win or make it so their son wins. Well, I just went to eBay, and you don't even have to do any work. You, for $125, it's like maybe $4 for the Pinewood Derby kit, but for $125, you can buy a pre-finished, ready-to-go, flashy Pinewood Derby race car. Yeah, with all the tricks and all, it's one. You could spend less. If you only want to spend $80, you can get one for $80. The point is, Dr. Shealy, how can this happen? How can we take something that used to be typically a father and son, or maybe a grandmother and son, or maybe a mother and son, depending on the family structure? How can we take this event, which was supposed to build character and be a learning experience, and turn it into, we got to win. Whatever we got to do, for $135, we can win. This is nuts.
Well, once upon a time, it was called cheating. And I guess I don't know any other word for it today.
Right. And during the top of the hour news headlines, Volkswagen is being sued by multiple states because they lied with their software. They manipulated their software so they could get around some of the emissions regulations. Now, some people might say, well, yeah, but, they adhered to the letter of the emissions regulations, but the spirit of it, maybe they didn't. So who the heck wants to deal with a company who's involved in cheating? Not me. So that's where I get back to Dr. Shealy. Anyone who tries to cheat me deliberately only gets one chance. Okay? As soon as I catch it, I am absolutely positively done with that company, that individual, whoever it may be. I'm done with them, and there is no second chance because I must be stupid to sign up for a second chance. Any comments, Dr. Shealy?
I agree.
Okay. Kyle in Montana, welcome. Yeah.
Good morning, Vince, Dr. Shealy. Vince, I think where you're going with this, and I believe that what has happened to our society, like Dr. Shealy said, is a lot that the government has got involved. But, people become what they believe. You know what I mean? If a person believes that the economy is, if they really are willing to look at the facts and they believe the economy is fixing to actually take a huge downturn, then they start preparing. But if they really don't, then they won't. And if you take, when we took like the 10 Commandments out of schools, the people saw that, you heard it, you could see it up on the wall, and it became part of you. And I think part of your integrity and the type of, loyalty that you have toward people is part of a thought process that you developed when you were very young. And we have lost, I think, all of it. People just do not, like you were saying, people, it's about the company making money. It's me first. It's winning at all costs. And we've lost any kind of a moral root that's built into the population. I just wondered what you thought.
Dr. Shealy, you have a comment?
Well, I think he's just summarizing where we are. And I think, again, if you look at the current political situation with the inability of our government to indict a woman who has committed utter federal treason and crime, I think it just shows you that it starts and finishes at the top. And what do you expect when the current administration is run by a narcissistic, psychopathic Muslim?
Boy, I couldn't agree with you more, and I think we had a huge change under Clinton when everybody, all of his supporters were saying, it's the economy, stupid, and who cares about what he does? When you start those kind of thought processes in a society, you've really totally that's just a mirror of what is going on in society as general. It's all about what you can get, how you can make it, how are you going to survive, forget everybody else. But I got to tell you one good story, Vince. Up here in our little neck of the woods, my daughter has lost her keys in the car twice, and both times the police have showed up and unlocked her car for her. No, where's your license and registration and all that stuff. They won't if they're under, in some kind of an emergency. But if they have time, they'll swing in and just unlock her car for her. And this was in the last year. So,
Kyle, two things. One, I apologize for not calling you back. I was under the weather. I had surgery, and I currently have been diagnosed with pneumonia. So I haven't been returning phone calls. But the bottom, and I'm being treated for pneumonia. So and one of those hospital-borne infections. So I'm not myself. So if I sound a little subdued, that's why, and that's why I didn't call you back, and I apologize for that. But there's something that you mentioned. Oh, by the way, did you say you're in Montana? Is that Mayberry, Montana?
Yeah, just outside of Mayberry. Yep.
Well, you know, because that's the way it used to be in Mayberry RFD, right? The television show. And that's wonderful. Yep. I'm so glad you live there. I don't live there, but I'd like to live there. I really would. And many of us would like to live there, but that's not the case here. We're involved, we're surrounded by places where quotas and ticket contests and those kinds of things happen. And you know, I saw a patrol car, a Mustang GT patrol car, brand new, in Alabama over the weekend. Since when are the police driving Mustangs? I mean, they used to drive, you know, cruisers. So I have a feeling it has to do with, I'll tell you what, George over there, we got him a Mustang GT. Now, you got to reach a certain level of productivity, and you have to have a certain amount of initiative. Now, if you have that kind of initiative and productivity, we can get you one of those Mustangs. I have a feeling it has to do with something like that. But Kyle, you mentioned Bill Clinton, and I have a comment about that. When Bill Clinton couldn't keep his zipper up, the media, the mainstream media, were saying, well, you know, it's his private life, and you got to give him, you know, some privacy. And what he does is in his private life has no bearing on what he does at work. Really? At work, he was doing the same thing. Remember Monica Lewinsky? And there's a whole bunch of others. So here we have a president who's doing the same thing, can't keep his zipper up anywhere. And we think that, well, you know, he's fixing the economy. He wanted to be a rock star. Not my words, Larry Nichols' words, right here on USA Prepares. He just wanted to be a party guy, and he wanted to be the guy that everybody liked. Well, he was a guy that people liked, except for the people he put out of business by bringing China over here in a big way. So if you like these Chinese products, and if you like the fact that your company has gone out of business making them here in the United States, the person to thank is Bill Clinton. Now, how closely aligned to his wife is he? I think he's pretty closely aligned. So if she's elected, we are absolutely, positively toast.
Well, I could not agree with you more.
I predict that if Hillary's elected, there's a minimum of 75% likelihood of a civil war.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Dr. Shealy. I think they're, and I think this is all by design. You know, it's just like Black Lives Matter. I hate to even bring that up because, you know, they're being funded and everything by this George Soros character. And I think that, you know, they don't understand. I don't even understand people that will go into their own neighborhoods and riot and burn stores and burn their own vehicles over anything. You know what I mean? That, to me, that is insanity. And just think about this. All it's going to take is for those guys to go in and kill more cops and do something just like that. Well, in order to restore law and order, what's got to happen? There's going to be law and order. The government's going to come in with military one way or the other, and that is going to become martial law in a police state, and they are either pushing this agenda or they are unwittingly playing into it, you know, 100%. And people just cannot seem to see consequences of actions as they play it out.
Kyle, we're going to have to let you go because I have some more stories, but I've heard Black Lives Matter. I've heard Blue Lives have mattered, and I've also heard Blue Lies. Blue lies matter. And it's all true. Kyle, hey, thank you so much for being with us.
Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Attention backpackers on a budget. Why spend $80 to $300 to pump clean survival water? Introducing the Viba Water Pump Kit from Viba Outdoor Products. Super easy to use and super lightweight at only 6.5 ounces, the Viba Water Pump Kit provides high flow rate at 1 ounce per stroke, can be one-hand pumped, and is dependable and affordable at only $24.99, filter not included. Get your Viba Water Pump Kit at viba-odp.com from Viba Outdoor Products.
This is a warning to all household pests, to all cockroaches, spiders, ants, rodents, and other pests. If you've just made yourself at home in someone else's home, you'd better hope the owners never hear about Terminix, because Terminix has the know-how and the means to do whatever it takes to remove you from that home. Terminix has over 85 years of experience exterminating invaders like you. And right now, they're making it easier than ever for homes to be protected by offering a free pest estimate to every caller at 1-800-676-1468. Cockroaches, spiders, ants, rodents, and other pests. This is your eviction notice. With one call, Terminix will remove you from the home you've invaded. If you think you can simply come back later, think again. Terminix will protect that home with a 100% satisfaction money-back guarantee, so you can never return. Warning, homeowners are calling Terminix right now for a free pest estimate at 1-800-676-1468. 1-800-676-1468.
Limitations apply. See plan for details.
The best kept secret in the firearms business is CDNNsports.com. CDNN Sports is the largest firearms liquidator in the U.S. We've got optics, accessories, gun parts, magazines, ammunition, and more. Sign up for our email specials today for the best gun deals, period. You will also be entered to win a Winchester 101 field shotgun. Go to Charlie, Delta, November, Sports.com. That's CDNNsports.com.
Class Dr. Norman Shealy's with us, and that's normshealy.com. Norm Shealy is a medical doctor. He's been with us for about 5 years. Dr. Shealy, back in the very, very early 90s, late 80s, we bought a farm in Virginia. And it was a very rural area of Virginia, maybe 500 people in a nearby town, but we lived outside of town. And some of the last names of the families in this town of Virginia are the famous names that came from Europe and settled in Virginia. And those are the families whose ancestors stole the land from the American Indians. And what we learned is we tried to buy local and spend our money at the local merchants. And And the old blue blood local merchants had a non-disclosed two-price structure in, like in the lumber yard. So, for example, if we bought lumber, it might be $1, per unit, let's say. But over time, we would see someone else buying that same lumber after we did, maybe a week later, 2 weeks later, or 3 days later, and it might be 80 cents. But they had one of those famous last names, from the people who stole the land from the Indians. Well, when we learned that, we decided that there was greed there that we just weren't going to be part of. So we stopped doing business locally. But there's a very interesting story about preachers I want to share with you. So we had this computer business and we manufactured computers right there on our farm. And we didn't advertise, so it was only word of mouth. And when someone came in to purchase a computer, we would take out this 8.5 by 11 sheet, and it was kind of like a menu. And it had all the items on it, like to build a computer, the case. There were multiple choices of cases, computer chassis, if you will. And then you could select the size of the chassis. And we would talk about the pros and the cons of each size of chassis, and then the different motherboards and the expandability of the motherboards, and then the memory choices. There were multiple choices for computer memory, and then you could select on the speed of the processor, and then the size and speed of the hard drive, and the type of video card and modem and network cards and whatever accessories you wanted. And simply, the price was really simple. You just check off the items that you want, and then you add up the cost or the price of each one, and when you get to the bottom line, that was the price. So it wasn't like it was just one price. Everybody paid one price, unless we were bidding on a large quantity. But for all of our customers, everybody paid the same exact price. And we look, that was completely different from the the two-tiered system that the neighborhood was used to by the local lumberyard. Well, these two preachers came in, and I sat down and in order to see the sheet and to guide them through the purchase, they stood behind me. And I said, okay, we talk about the hard drive and, all of these items. And then I added up the price. And one of the preachers started to say, well, I think the price is, and the other guy jabbed him. He was trying to say that I incorrectly added up the price and I was $200 too low, $200 even. So one preacher was jabbing the other, saying, what are you, an idiot? We can get it for $200 less if you just keep your mouth shut. These are
Oh, yeah.
So here's some more of this continuation of the degradation of human nature, Dr. Shealy. I mean, did they really think we wouldn't catch it over time? But any comments on that?
Well, I call that not quite original sin, but close to it.
Okay. So these are the...
It's plain old, pure theft, dishonesty, criminal behavior, period.
Mm-hmm. So these are the preachers that are standing up at the pulpit, praise the Lord, thank you, Jesus, we leading the flock. These are the people that the church members would look up to do the right thing. And by the way, they were the same, not those particular ones, but preachers were the same ones who were bedding down the wives of the membership. Think about that. We'll be right back.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com. So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today. My computer is so slow, it's making me crazy.
I used to have that problem.
Did you quit using a computer, or did you buy a new one?
No, I called Geeks On Site. They made an appointment to visit my home and showed up the same day.
You mean they didn't ask you to bring your computer to a shop? That's what happened when I called a support company.
Geeks On Site can go to your home or business or even repair your computer online. They have 24/7 emergency service.
If you're having problems with your PC or Mac, call Geeks On Site, 1-800-591-1682. Our friendly certified computer repair experts are available 24/7. Call now for a free diagnosis, 1-800-591-1682. Data recovery, virus removal, and maintenance for all laptops, desktops, printers, and networks. That's Geeks On Site for friendly certified computer repair experts, available 24/7 over the phone or in your home or business. Just call 1-800-591-1682. That's 1-800-591-1682, 1-800-591-1682.
Think about this. Your community's aging water infrastructure systems are very likely to be contaminated with heavy metals like lead, disinfection chemicals like ammonia, chlorine and chloramines, and pharmaceuticals like statins, pain meds, and antidepressants. And no, water treatment plants are not equipped to filter these pharmaceutical toxins out. Protect your family's water supply with the trusted Big Berkey water filter. New NSF EPA-certified lab tests show Big Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria, and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification, and our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
As a doctor, I see patients every day who are losing their vision and independence to age-related macular degeneration, also known as AMD. It's the leading cause of blindness in adults 55 and older. Some of us are at greater risk for AMD. If you have blurry vision or blind spots, they can be symptoms of AMD. If left untreated, it can lead to blindness. The good news, with early detection, AMD can be managed with effective clinically approved treatments that can reduce or even reverse some vision loss. Learning that you have AMD can be scary, but there's hope and help. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is researching and developing treatments and cures for AMD. To get your free AMD information packet, contact the Foundation Fighting Blindness today at 1-800-BLINDNESS. That's 1-800-BLINDNESS. Join the fight against AMD, because together there is a cure in sight.
To a professional trader in precious metals, the key is spot price. Spot price is market price, what gold or silver actually costs on the exchange. Regular people looking to invest never get spot price because resellers add fees for everything: refining, minting, brokerage costs, commissions. The public is never offered spot price until now. In a limited new customer outreach, JM Bullion offers you the chance to own a 10-ounce bar of pure silver at spot price. No fees, commissions, markups, not even a shipping cost. Now, through JM Bullion, own the most real investment of all at real cost. Not a piece of paper from Wall Street or a bank. A 10-ounce bar of silver at spot price. That's a solid investment. But you must act now. Go online to realpricesilver.com for this limited time offer. That's realpricesilver.com. realpricesilver.com. Limit one offer per household. 50 United States only.
Class Dr. Norman Shealy is with us, and I'm sharing some stories, and Dr. Shealy's commenting on them. It's about human nature. And during this segment, I'm hoping to get to the point where they impact both Dr. Shealy and me. So when I moved to Virginia, there was a farm down the road. There's a big sign over the entrance. It said Still Waters. And I thought, wow, well, there's a creek that runs through our farm and travels downhill, and they were downhill, and I guess the creek went through their farm as well, but there was nothing still about it. So I asked some of the locals about, what does that mean, still waters, over this big sign over the farm entrance. And I was told, well, 23rd Psalm, still waters. These people are very, very religious. They're Baptists and they're very religious. I said, okay. Later, I learned that the old 1800s house that was a big farmhouse on this property, and the barn was raided by revenuers years before we moved to Virginia. And the town fathers were running an illegal moonshine business. And they were detected because of the enormous amount of sugar that was being purchased for their moonshine business. And one of the guys, I guess, was found out because everyone fled as the revenues were coming. But one guy was caught because his truck was there. So the revenuers used the license plate to figure out who the owner of the truck was, and they went to the owner's place, and they said, okay, we got your truck. And he goes, great, you got my truck. Thanks. It's been stolen. I've been looking for it. So these are the same, praise the Lord, Baptists who claim that they don't drink, they don't smoke. Well, they don't drink and they don't smoke, when their wives can see them. But these are the same guys that were running an illegal still, operation. And who were they? These were the people that everyone was to look up to, the town fathers. And any comments on that story?
Well, it reminds me of an aunt of mine who, when I was like 14, which is, close to 70 years ago, told me that if she saw the Baptist minister coming down the sidewalk, she quickly locked the door and hid in the closet because she didn't want to let him in the house with her alone. That tells you a lot.
It absolutely does, because now I don't know firsthand, but I was told by people who had friends that the women, if they had problems with their house, the preacher would say, well, my dear, tell me, I can help you. And the next thing, they were horizontal. Okay.
Right.
And, so, services, I guess service means all kinds of things so that's what, I'd like to skip to our story, Dr. Shealy. So here it is. Now, I don't know if this is going to make your blood boil, but it makes my blood boil, and I want to get it out of my system. So for over 5 years, I've been hosting a meetup in Springfield, Missouri, and first it started at a restaurant called Ziggy's. And Ziggy's had a problem with us. We had so many people show up that we clogged up the restaurant on Friday nights, and we took over the entire place from, let's say maybe 6 to midnight, sometimes 1 in the morning. But they were open 24 hours a day. But on Friday, if you wanted to go there, and we had our PA system, and we were telling stories and teaching, and that kind of thing, and it was very educational. But we clogged up the restaurant. We were asked to leave. We left. Went to another place called Hy-Vee, and it's a large supermarket. We were invited to leave there after one meeting. We were talking about cell phones, and so then Ziggy's brought us back on Mondays. That was okay as long as we didn't clog up their Friday night. So Monday was good, and then ultimately that didn't work out. So we went to Jimmy's Egg. So for over 5 years, we've been hosting all kinds of meetups, and I believe that we've had well over 100 USA Prepares instructors at these meetups, and we've talked about all kinds of things. Health, wellness. John Regan's been there talking about finance and economics. You've been there many, 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 many times, Dr. Shealy. You had blood pressure clinics multiple times. You've had diatomaceous earth studies, and you've been there for a couple meetups about the follow-up on the diatomaceous earth study. You've talked about the piezoelectric studies, and then while these meetup people are there, they'll tell you about their ankles and their heart and whatever other maladies they may have, and ask you for your advice and counsel. Is that correct or not?
That is absolutely correct.
Do you remember me asking you about, this is where it's going to become painful, Dr. Shealy, do you remember me asking you about your spiritual healing And was that involved in any way, shape, or form with the dark side? Do you remember me asking you that on the air?
Absolutely.
And was it involved any way, shape, or form with the dark side?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Here's what happened. Hang on, Dr. Shealy, because you're probably going to lose your temper.
Oh, I know exactly where you're going, so keep going.
All right. Well, I found out that after you did your presentation with your spiritual healer friend, and you had your EKG machine there, and you were making a scientific medical interpretation of spiritual healing, after you left, and normally, class, Dr. Shealy doesn't stay until the meetup is over. He does his presentation, and he leaves before it gets dark, and that's just the way it is. Well, after you left, Dr. Shealy, and after your spiritual healer, what would you say, partner, professional, friend, left, you both left at the same time. The guy who ran the meetup, he trades by the name of Silent Night, he called for a vote to see if you should be banned from all future meetups. And here's what happened. 3 people, including Dr. Howard Shayne and his wife, voted, "Are you absolutely crazy? Why would anybody ban Dr. Shealy and ban this information? Why would anybody even consider thinking about that?" So there were 3 people that said, no, they would not ban you. 9 people whom you've known and helped enormously, Dr. Shealy, voted to ban you. And I don't know the exact number, but I'm estimating 12 said nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now, please don't feel that they've singled you out.
Oh, no. I knew when this creep greeted me at the door before I could get in to be sure that I wasn't going to say something he didn't approve of.
Yeah, and who is he? Well, Dr. Shealy, not only did they ban you, they banned me. So you...
Well, they have become creeping, fundamental, blank, blank, blank.
Well, I didn't know how to tell you this, and I've been sitting on this for weeks, and I thought, the best thing to do would be to air it. It's absolutely an outrage, and as a result of this, I've determined I want nothing to do with those people. And of course, now the ones who voted in your favor, of course, they're our friends, but these other people are pseudo-friends. They're alleged friends. They're actually, as long as, Dr. Shealy, as long as you've got your wallet open, they'll help you unload it. As long as you've got free medical advice, they'll listen. But when it comes to defending you and saying, wait a minute, Dr. Shealy has been, other than Finelli, there's no one else who has been here more often, because I've been to almost every meetup. Well, until I stopped going to them as often, because these people couldn't remember to put their cell phones in the car. And I said, if you can't remember to leave your cell phone in the car and not put me and my family at risk, then I can't be here. Well, other than me spending the most time there, Dr. Shealy, you have provided the most counsel, the most expense, the most information, the most. And that 2 of us have been thrown out.
Well, isn't that wonderful?
Well,
it saves us a lot of trouble going with creeps.
Somebody asked me about that, Dr. Shealy, and how I feel about it. And I said, well, how do you feel about, the meetups? And I said, I sold my boat. And they said, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, 2 happiest days in a guy's life are the day he buys his boat and the day he sells his boat. And I feel like I just sold my boat. And it's like one of the happiest days, because I don't have to do anything anymore, because these people have thrown me overboard and they've thrown you overboard. Now, when I heard what they did to you at my very first opportunity, I mean, I went ballistic. I literally went ballistic. And I was outraged, annoyed. I couldn't believe it. I picked up our PA system from the meetup, and that was it. I mean, and I want nothing to do with them. And not only that, I don't want anything to do with Jimmy's Egg, and I'll tell you why. A guy who used to be one of our instructors from Jimmy's Egg, he said, well, whatever kind of meetup you guys want to have is okay with me. He didn't say, whoa, have you guys lost your minds? Norm Shealy, you want to throw him overboard? You're nuts. He didn't do that. So his weakness has caused me to never go back to Jimmy's Egg. Never. So here we've helped those guys, and we've rounded up customers for over 2 years for them. And their loyalty is, well, whatever you guys want to do. If you don't want to have Norm, that's okay. Whatever kind of meeting you want to have. It's all about money, Dr. Shealy. It's about money. It's about you spending your time, your effort, and your money to give these people training. It's about me doing the same thing. And it's about the restaurant making money. And if you think it's about our message and they like our message, it's not true. They don't care about our message at the restaurant. I'm talking about the owners. They care about, do we buy dinner? So I'm glad I got this off my chest.
By definition, fundamentalists have no fun.
I just can't believe the lack of loyalty. I can't believe the lack of defense on our behalf.
What you've been talking about all day.
That's right.
Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Adam Pileski of the Pileski Law Firm with principal office Office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Injury Help Desk is responsible for this advertisement. Principal Office, Las Vegas, Nevada. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention prescription antibiotic drug users. Have you or a loved one suffered an aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm after taking the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avelox? These popular antibiotic drugs have been prescribed more than 80 million times since 2004, and medical studies show an increased risk of the following injuries: aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, and abdominal aortic aneurysm. If you or a loved one used the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avelox and suffered from aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-823-3851. 800-823-3851. 800-823-3851.
Attention backpackers on a budget. Why spend $80 to $300 to pump clean survival water? Introducing the Viba Water Pump Kit from Viba Outdoor Products. Super easy to use and super lightweight at only 6.5 ounces, the Viba Water Pump Kit provides high flow rate at 1 ounce per stroke, can be one-hand pumped, and is dependable and affordable at only $24.99. Filter not included. Get your Viba Water Pump Kit at viba-odp.com from Viba Outdoor Products.
Class, I couldn't feel more comfortable. I could not be in better company than being banned from the meetup than I am with Norm Shealy. So both of us have been banned, and I'm delighted to be side by side with you, Norm Shealy, and being thrown out. I think it's great. But
well, Vince, brother, we forge ahead.
Well, here's something very interesting. And of course, we're going to put this behind us. We're not going to dwell on it. But I wanted to share this with our class, because if they really think that they've got friends and they can really count on their friends, and when the going gets tough, their friends are going to be with them, I suggest they really reevaluate it, because I can tell you that there's only 3 people that stood with us. 3 people. And, the meetup group wanted to know from me, could they still use the name USA Prepares at the meetup? I said, absolutely not.
IQ of 80 or below is what I put that one.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Dr. Shealy, so then at USA Prepares, one of the things that we try to do is figure out solutions. Now, forget the meetup group. That's history. We're not going back there, that's for sure. But society in general, in our own little village, is there a way that we can fix the degradation of human nature, this spiraling down, the instead of helping the senior citizen across the street who's been beaten up by young thugs, instead of helping, we video it and put it on YouTube. What do we do to fix this? Do you have any thoughts?
I think truth ultimately. I have to believe that truth and justice always prevail. And so we're in sort of the dark night of the soul for our country as a whole, and I think to a large extent for the world, Vince. And all I can say is that light always outshines dark. And so I just keep on expressing truth as I know it. Now, interestingly, I've met recently with a nurse friend of mine, and I am going to start doing frequent, maybe weekly, public information on health lectures. And I'm thinking seriously of doing it at the Doubletree in that auditorium.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so once we get that organized, then we'll have to have at least one night of be prepared, because there are many, many aspects of be prepared that I've been living for 50 years, and I think everybody needs to.
Let me know when you plan on doing that. I've spoken with you at the DoubleTree. You and I and Dan Swindell were on stage together, and we broadcasted live. That was a lot of fun. So let me know if there's any way that I can help you. But I got to tell you, Dr. Shealy, when you do these things for free, people expect more and more and more. And I'm not saying we have to make money, but I'm saying there's got to be a point where there's got to be some loyalty. It seems like it's a one-way street. Let me tell you a very quick story.
Well, we're going to have stuff to hand out, and we will have to, when you come, and even when you're not there, if you want, we can put out information about you and your site.
Well, I'm delighted to be side by side with you, Dr. Shealy. I want to share something very quickly. Over the weekend, I gave 2 seminars, and I said during one seminar class, if you don't get your money's worth at this preparedness event, if you don't think you get your money's worth, you're getting your money's worth from my seminar, ask for a refund. And I've done that 11 times. No one's ever asked for a refund. So I thought, Sunday's seminar, I better not do that. I'll just say, if you don't think this is the best use of your time, and you're not going to get any time back, if you think that this is not the best use of your time, I suggest you leave and do something that is the best use of your time, or you think is. You know what happened, Dr. Shealy? Within a half an hour, half of the seminar group got up and left. Half.
Hey, so Vincent, keep the faith, baby.
Well, I'm convinced I need to stay home more and not waste so much time. Dr. Shealy, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing your medical knowledge and dispensing information. NormShealy.com. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you.
You want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food. Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Would you like to receive $250 to $1,000 cash per day? Go to richmoneyrich.com. No website, no selling, no explaining. Just take these simple 2 steps and go to richmoneyrich.com. You can be generating cash in the next 24 hours simply using this system. Good news is, it runs on 100% autopilot, and you don't need any experience to get started. It's easy. Get your share of riches and go to richmoneyrich.com. That's richmoneyrich.com. Go now. Brought to you by the Conservative Investor. Current returns not indicative of future results.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.